Hey guys. So today was, well, last night and today was absolutely crazy. Um, like all night, I was just getting a ton of downloads, and the energy's been really strong all day. Um, I mean, I had so many downloads like last night and today. There's no way that I could like explain them all. But what happened was I would get a download or hear something or read something, and I was just like getting spiritual chills all day. It's like when something resonates with you so much and that's like your truth, and you get the chills, right? And it was like pretty hot today, so I probably got the chills probably like 13 times or something like that. So super insane energy, and like after, I didn't know if I was gonna like be able to do a reading today, but I was able to like finish all my stuff, and I sat down and I caught like the tail end of the newer Alice in Wonderland movie, like the last 15 minutes, and it was like so in line with a lot of the downloads that I got today. So some of the things that I was thinking about earlier today about maintaining your, tying to the last reading, like maintaining your healthy boundaries. There's going to be some like, anger, jealousy, hot-headedness, either within yourself or from people around you, watching you progress in your life. And I was thinking about how it ties into kind of facing your fear by standing in your truth, right? Like taking your power back, not giving your power away anymore. That's what like maintaining your healthy boundaries is. And I kind of feel like it's time to be selfish, so to speak. And I don't mean like in an unkind way, but I mean by being kind to yourself. Like it's time to be selfish for you in that way, and focus that energy on your, put that back into yourself. Don't let other people drain you. I've been seeing a lot of like depression and hopelessness around me, and sometimes even apathy, which is worse, right? Because apathy is the opposite of empathy, right? That's even like worse than depression, guys, because that means, if you struggle with depression, it's like you're still feeling, right? With apathy, it's like completely numb, like not caring at all. That's worse than depression, guys. But I've seen a lot of hopelessness, and I've seen people give into it recently, and it's been tough to see. Okay. And I was thinking how to combat this, and it's by shining brighter, guys. By shining brighter. That's why I was thinking that it's time to put that energy back into yourself, so that you can be that guiding light, okay, and inspire others. It's not letting that darkness kind of consume you, but shining brighter to lead the way, okay? And that takes courage. Because the opposite of not facing your fears, or thinking something is impossible or out of reach and therefore doing nothing about it, that's acting in a cowardly way, right? That's the opposite of strength. So those were some of the downloads that I was getting today. And as I was watching the tail end, is like last 15 minutes of Alice in Wonderland, the newer one, it was like so in line with the last reading and the downloads that I was getting today. It was crazy. It was like, you know, I saw right at the end is like the Red Queen and the White Queen were gonna battle, and Alice has to fight the Jabberwocky. And it's an impossible task, right? But instead of being a coward and thinking that it's impossible, she faced her fear and used her knowledge to turn it to wisdom to defeat the Jabberwocky, which in turn caused the Red Queen to lose her crown, right? Justice was served. The scales were rebalanced. The White Queen regained her crown. And I feel like it's like symbolic of energy, right? Like light versus dark energy, and not letting that darkness take over. And even though it seems impossible, shining brighter in that moment instead of giving in to your fear. And what was interesting when she was fighting the Jabberwocky, right, was she cut off its tongue first, because he was like saying all this stuff and like trying to deter her from fighting him, and she cut off his tongue. And I thought that was like super amazing, because I always say, like, be careful what you hear, right? Like, even from me, filter everything, because so often we let other people's, what they say or their thoughts like affect us, and it takes away our power, right? So she like cut off the Jabberwocky's tongue, and that was just like, it's like so perfect for like not letting, you know, just filtering everything you hear. Always be cautious what you hear, okay? But also be conscious of your mindset. I was talking about that in my last reading too. Like, your thoughts manifest your reality. So if you live in a state of fear, that's what's going to be not only attracted to you, but that's also what's going to be reflected in your life. So be cautious of that still. That's still the energy, okay? And be cautious of what you hear right now, and don't let the darkness take over. It's time to shine brighter, okay? It's time to take your power back. Be selfish in that way. Okay, that's a good way to be selfish. And then I also saw in the movie, painting the white roses red, right? Because that's what color the Red Queen wanted them, and they accidentally planted white roses. So they were all painting them to make it look like they were red roses. And that made me think of the energy right now because of the Pisces full moon in Virgo. The Virgo full moon in Pisces. It's like that ethereal energy, like very dreamy and Wonderland-like, although also very grounded and structured. And that was like the life that Alice left from when she fell down the hole and went to Wonderland. It was like leaving like a Virgo-esque land, and she fell into like this ethereal Wonderland, right? And so it's like, how do you balance the two? Okay. And she was able to do it because with the lessons that she learned in Wonderland, she was able to change her reality when she got back to normal life. Okay, so that's a perfect representation of how to balance these energies. I just was like astonished at the last 15 minutes of this movie. I was like, oh my gosh, this like represents so many of the downloads that I was getting all day. But also, like, you know, painting the roses red. We have to see things as they are, okay? By what people show us, not by what they say. And I felt like that was represented by that scene, and also when she cuts off the Jabberwocky's tongue. Okay? It's like, maintain your healthy boundaries. Don't let people drain your energy. This is a time to shine brighter, because there's a lot of hopelessness that's affecting a lot of people right now. Okay, and so this is the time, guys, to stand in your truth, stand in your power, maintain your healthy boundaries, and be a leader in that way by shining bright for others. Okay, not covering up something or pretending something is something that it's not, and seeing things as they actually are, and looking at people's actions instead of their words. Okay, that's virtue. That's virtue. So I was kind of inspired to use, I have an Alice in Wonderland Oracle deck and a tarot deck, so I'm going to use those two today. And yeah, just like a ton of spiritual chills all day, lots of truths all over the place, crazy dreams. So I hope you guys are doing well and maintaining balance and realistic optimism during this time. All right, so let's see what Alice in Wonderland Oracle has to say. Clock time, pressure, in a rush. So yeah, what's interesting about this is there's been a sense of like having to stay busy because of this energy, and also like heightened anxiety at this time, which kind of, I've been feeling that a lot today. Like a lot of like racing to get things done, but also anxiety because there's big changes coming, guys. Let me just put it that way, for everybody. Okay, and so what's interesting in a lot of my readings that I've been doing lately, not in these collective videos, but the outcome is kind of ambiguous right now, because things can go different ways depending on people's actions at this time, how they deal with the tests and the challenges that they're faced with. There's a lot of like weird timeline stuff happening right now because things are moving quickly. There's going to be big changes manifesting soon. It's just time is kind of weird right now, and I've been discussing that in my last, not the last reading, but the one before, about prior timelines collapsing based on decisions that are being made and life paths being altered, and grieving those timelines. Okay, but also take time to slow down and ground, because with depression, anxiety is its best friend. They always show up at the party together, right? So there's been heightened anxiety because of the increased depression, hopelessness, apathy, which is even worse. But there's been a rush. Right? So be conscious of, if you're just trying to keep busy to avoid the feeling, like the sensations or feelings that you're feeling, take time to slow down and to process those. Okay, not just stay busy to avoid that. But also, I get a lot of anxiety sense, not only with this card, but also I was feeling that from the collective today. So just be aware of that. Okay, this requires grounding, this energy, all right? Because a lot of the energy right now, I mean, even when I was like looking at my fish tank earlier, guys, it was so freaking weird, okay? Like, my fish only come out when they want to eat, and the catfish never goes to the top. But all of them were trying to swim up. Like, every time I looked at the fish tank today, like, I have like 6 or 7 fish in there, all of them were trying to swim up and up and up. And I was like, is the pH wrong? I checked the temperature, like everything was normal. I was like, what? They're like freaking out. But all their energy was going up, right? So I know that they were feeling it. Pisces fish, right? It's just interesting how I see animals and that I encounter and I see the energy that I'm experiencing within them. Like they're very tuned in. They're very tuned in, right? But it was reflected in my fish tank today. They're all trying to swim up. Like, it's so weird. But it's all that crown chakra energy. If you watched my last reading, you know what I'm talking about. But it's really important to ground right now. Ground. It's super, super important, okay? That goes hand in hand with this card. All right. All must have prizes, trying to please everyone. This is exactly what I'm talking about when it's time to be selfish, guys. So many people I know that are empathetic, that do look out for other people and put other people first, end up getting drained, okay? And it's all must have prizes, trying to please everyone. That goes hand in hand with my intro. It's time to be selfish, guys. It's time to focus on yourself. Put that energy into yourself, because that's how you're going to shine bright and be a leader to inspire others. Okay, this is so perfect. So perfect. All right, that's it. That's like half the message. And how do you do that? By maintaining your healthy boundaries, okay? Not giving until your cup is empty. It's time to be a little selfish, guys. And I mean that in the best way, not in like a negative way. All right? Law is not justice. Law is not justice. Rules that are not fair. This is so in line with what I was talking about between the White Queen and the Red Queen, and how justice ended up being served in the end. But before that, when the Red Queen was ruling, you know, painting the roses red, off with their head for any minor infraction. And why do we like give into that, guys? The thing about life not being fair, right? I was always told that when I was younger, and I'm gonna have to do a reading on this because it's a big topic for me. But I was telling that to my kids for several years when they were like, that's not fair. And I was like, well, life's not fair. But you guys, it actually is, okay? Because it's what, and I'm gonna do a reading on the lies that we tell our children, and we need to stop. Okay, that's a huge reading. But anyway, that's for another reading. So yeah, in Alice in Wonderland, the Red Queen obviously, you know, her way of ruling was not right. And what's interesting is that when justice was served and the White Queen got the crown back, this was all in the last 15 minutes of the movie, you guys. It was amazing. The White Queen did not believe in killing people. So she did not say off with her head to the Red Queen. She banished her to a life of solidarity, being alone, right? Which is almost, that's like the opposite of what we're here for, which is connection. That's almost worse, right? But what's more interesting is the guy who was pretending to love the Red Queen for his own selfish reasons, she was banished, chained to him. Talk about attachment and karma, right? I mean, crazy, right? And he like tried to kill her before they were banished and stuff like that, like, and then they had to go spend the rest of eternity chained to each other, who hated each other and couldn't talk to anyone else. Like, gosh, these are, you know, so symbolic of a lot of the readings that I've been doing. But anyway, rules that are not fair. I also see this as like, question what you're told, guys, okay? How will you know if something's impossible if you never try? Right? And this is at the heart of the reading, okay? There's this one part before Alice was going to defeat the Jabberwocky, and she's like, it's what did she say? She said something like, it's impossible, and the Mad Hatter said, I think, I can't quote it verbatim, but he said something along the lines, well, you know, how do you know if you never try? And she was like, well, sometimes I think of 6 impossible things before breakfast. And he was like, that's good practice, right? So it's like, don't believe the limits that you set for yourself, guys. Have the strength to push beyond that, okay? Because that's how you're going to find out a lot about yourself, is just outside your comfort zone. So there's a lot of messages from that card. Justice, your thoughts create your reality, pushing past your boundaries, your own personal boundaries for yourself, for growth, but also maintaining your healthy boundaries to keep yourself full. It's time, your cup full. It's time to be selfish that way, guys. This is the perfect card for the heart of the reading. It sums up my intro perfectly. And it's about justice, which I was talking a lot about. Okay, justice being served. It's always tea time. Eternity, endless moments, repetition. Get outside your comfort zone, guys. Get outside your comfort zone. That's where life happens. How will you ever know what you're capable of if you never try? It's about strength and not being cowardly. Okay? How will you know unless you try? Alright? That's where you'll learn a lot about yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in those cycles. Again, about time. That one also has a theme of time. Okay, let's get one more from this oracle deck. Such a curious dream. Grounding. Returning to reality. Coming home. I could go on and on about the messages from this card and how it relates to my intro, but I mean, grounding, obviously I was talking about that, how important it is during this time. Returning to reality, seeing things for as they are, not painting the white roses red, right? And coming home and being your authentic self, standing in your truth. Okay? Incredible messages here. And I wonder what will happen next. This is so perfect because it's so hard to tell the outcome of situations right now because of such vast changes that are happening with timelines collapsing and new life paths being formed. I wonder what will happen next. This is so incredibly insane that this is the overall energy right now because it's so true. Also, the little description on the bottom says, ready to adventure, precipice of change, pause before action. Big changes are coming, guys. It's hard to determine what way things are going to go because of the reasons that I mentioned. This is the overall energy right now. We're kind of in this like battle between the white cards and the red cards, right? Just like in Alice in Wonderland, it's like, which way are things going to go? It depends on the choices that you're making, and it's going to have big change one way or the other, but which way it's going to go it's unclear right now. It's very difficult to see. Okay, clarity will come. Clarity will come. I got some visions last night that over the next couple of weeks, particularly like mid to end of September, things, you know, this like ethereal cloud, like dreamy wonderland vibe will start to lighten, and you'll be able to see things much clearer. But it's going to depend on the choices that we're making now with things that are presented to us in our life with tests and triggers. So just be cautious of that. Again, do a lot of grounding. You know, take time. Don't rush. Try to redirect that crown chakra energy into the root chakra, because that's where all the energy is right now, is with the crown chakra, guys. Stop trying to please everyone. Time to be selfish in a good way. All right. Try to push past your limits. to see what you're capable of. All right, life begins just outside your comfort zone. Okay, amazing, amazing messages. Perfectly in line with the downloads I was getting all day. And let's clarify with the Alice in Wonderland Tarot deck. All right, Ten of Swords, endings, painful endings, okay? Take time to grieve those previously collapsed timelines, guys. Big changes are gonna happen. The moon. Your intuition, guys, will be spot on right now. Okay, it may not seem like it, but as this energy starts to balance, you'll gain more clarity and things will be revealed to you. Okay, but always listen to your intuition. Okay, be cautious with what you hear. Reality check yourself. Yeah, I mean, this is incredible. This is an amazing reading. All right, Seven of Swords and Five of Swords. This is about, so Seven of Swords is about clock time, okay? This is about like the anxiety, rushing, not dealing with things. This is about an escape, and this is also about deception. I take this for this reading as self-deception, painting the roses red. Okay, it's time to see things as they are, not lie to ourselves. Okay, still remain optimistic and hopeful and shine bright, but not be self-deceiving. Okay, by not having equal give and take in our relationships and being like, oh, everything's okay, everything's fine, or I do enough for myself. But you guys, really, it's time to be selfish, and that's what this is clarifying. The Five of Swords, it can represent winning at all costs, but it's like in a selfish way. So what happens is, in order to win, okay, the Queen took their swords. I'm not taking this in a negative way for this reading. I'm saying it's time to take your power back, guys. It's time to be selfish. And look at what it's under. All must have prizes, trying to please everyone. This is so freaking perfect. Because stop trying to please everyone and giving your power away. Take your power back. It's time to be selfish. That was my message for this card. Perfectly represented. Perfectly clarified. Perfect. Okay, this was the card that came to mind when I was reading this card, but I'm still not confident about predicting the tarot cards that come out yet, but I'll get there, okay? But yeah, it's time to be selfish with your energy, guys. Stop giving your power away in a healthy way, not a negative way, just to win, but, you know, put that energy to yourself. Stop giving it away to other people. Okay? That's perfect. And the escape and deception. Wow. Right away. Seven of Swords, Five of Swords. Incredible. And here at the bottom he's painting the roses red and the Seven of Pentacles. Alright, so law is not justice. Queen of Swords. There we go. Alright? So this is about cutting out things that are not meant for you, that are no longer serving, with truth and clarity. Okay? This is incredible that this came out here. Rules that are not fair. Time to cut that out, guys. The I can't. What if I fail? What if I am not good enough? What happened? You know, it's time to push past that, guys. Cut that out so that you can stand in your power and your truth. Swords represent the mind. Okay? Swords represent the mind, truth, clarity. How will you know unless you try? All right? Okay. It's always tea time. Repetition, endless moments. The Emperor. the Emperor. So the Emperor utilizes all his resources, okay? He's a leader. He's a leader. He also represents having healthy boundaries, okay? So again, it's getting out of your comfort zone, being a leader for others to light the way, okay? There's so much darkness, hopelessness, depression right now, guys. It's time to be a leader, to get people out of that energy, because you'll inspire. All right? And by showing people how to maintain healthy boundaries, okay? How to be clear in your truth and take back your power. How to know when you're being depleted and when to give back to yourself, okay? And not lie to yourself or not try to escape or run away from problems, right? This message is incredible. All right. And then such a curious dream. Grounding, returning to reality, coming home. 9 of Swords, see? This is where all the energy is right now. Anxiety, all up in the head. Not sleeping, maybe even nightmares. With vivid dreams, you guys, sometimes they can be pleasant and sometimes they can be unpleasant. This represents anxiety, hardcore. I mean, look at this rabbit. That's why grounding is so important. And such a curious dream, this is about nightmares too. Or sometimes even vivid dreams can be disturbing. They're not even scary, they're just disturbing. So make sure you ground, guys, because this is the energy I've been feeling all day. That's why I was saying it's so important to ground, come back to reality, be honest with yourself, don't try to escape, try to control that anxiety, try to shift that energy from the crown to the ground. From the crown to the ground. That's what this is saying. Perfect. Perfect. And then overall energy, the Magician. So this is about manifestation, okay? And I wonder what will happen next. As I said, it depends on the decisions that you're making with these tests and triggers. If you're going to apply the knowledge that you've learned and turning it to wisdom, and what choices are you going to make with the things that are presented to you will determine the outcome of the next several weeks, okay? I mean, really, it's like altering your life path, okay? Time is very funny right now. Times have been really funny lately, and it's because of all the timeline shifting. So yeah, what will happen next? It's what you make it. It is what you make it. The Magician is the master manifester. So take time to slow down, be honest, see things as they are, ground that energy, but also, you know, be a leader, shine bright, have healthy boundaries, and be a little selfish, guys, right now, in a good way, all right? Okay. Let me get a couple more cards. Let's see where to go from here. Let's do Moonology. I like that. It's feeling right now. So yeah, expect powerful change. That's completely, like, big changes are gonna happen, guys, and it's your thoughts, your actions, not listening to what other people say per se, but, you know, watching their actions, and, you know, time to cut out things that are not in alignment. All right? Okay. But yeah, big changes are coming, but that's what's going to determine, you know, how things are going to go. Conclusions are within reach. Okay. This is full moon eclipse. This full moon today is not an eclipse, but it's still really powerful. And this is just backing up what I said. Like, your thoughts and your actions based on things that are occurring in your life, that's what's gonna manifest for you. Okay, that's gonna determine the conclusion, which is not quite known right now. Okay, but yeah, that's what's coming. Okay. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. A lot of this has to do with our close relationships, guys. Okay? Because the people that we care about, if you're empathetic, that's usually who you give to. That's what we need to be honest with ourselves about that, not escape that reality, and take our power back. Okay, that's creating a lot of the personal issues with self and in the relationships around us. Okay, it's like that unequal give and take. It's that unequal give and take that needs to be rebalanced. Okay. Be bold and make the first move. Yeah. So this is right under Queen of Swords, and law is not justice. So this is about being bold, okay, with your truth, taking your power back, being in alignment, cutting out things that are not in alignment, and rules that are not fair. Don't believe that self-limiting inner script, guys, because how will you ever know unless you try? You'll never know what your limits are unless you try. Okay? Try to think of several impossible things that you could do before breakfast and be bold in that way, because it's time to be a leader. All right? The collective energy is struggling with boundaries placed on self that are based in self-doubt and fear or envy, or from others, right? Planting that seed of you can't do this, just planting those seeds of doubt, and just it's not good, guys. Okay, it's not good. So it's time to be a leader in that way and be bold. All right, I kind of have to take this one. This one was on the bottom right now. Full moon in Pisces. Okay, balance, spirituality, and practicality. That's so perfect for what I was saying. It's like that everyday routine, right? Mixed with dreaming big and that like elusive, ethereal, dreamy energy. And how do you get those two dynamics to balance? All right, so I'm just going to take this one. So it's like balancing spirituality and practicality. That's so perfect. Grounding, guys. That's what it is right now. Grounding. All right, let me get one more. You and your loved ones are safe. Yeah. So when you're making these decisions, guys, as long as they're from a place of authenticity and genuine love, okay? You can't go wrong. That was another message that I got from watching the tail end of this Alice in Wonderland movie, is that, and I always knew this, but it was just kind of like reaffirmed, like light energy will always overpower dark. Always. And I'm talking about energy, guys. Energy. Okay? It will always. It's like the purest emotion. Purest. As long as you come from that place, you're making the right choice. Just make sure that it's not, that you're not making decisions based in ego or fear. Okay, or for what would be best for someone else. Okay, it's time to be selfish, not in a negative way, but take back your power, guys. This is not a time to shy away from your strengths. Okay, that's being cowardly. All right. And prosperity lies ahead. Prosperity lies ahead. That is one thing I know for certain, that if you always go back to making decisions based in authenticity and love, there will be no issue. That's what will manifest in your life. There will be no issue. You shouldn't even worry about the outcome, because that's what will happen. Okay? And yeah, abundance and prosperity, because your thoughts manifest your reality. So be cautious of your thoughts, and just, yeah, stand in your truth. Time to give back to yourselves, guys. Okay? I hope I explained that okay. The cards really helped, but the messages were like so intense all day. I don't know if that happened to you guys, if you guys got a lot of like chills all day, even though it was like a hot day. That's when you know it's true, it's your truth. Okay, spiritual chills. All right. But yeah, I hope you guys are having an awesome week, and I'll talk to you next time.